The universe revolves and moves till it comes to an end because it is a world. The planet's impending demise is worse. Even if mankind manages to avoid nuclear war, global warming, or anything else, and endures asteroid impacts, new ice ages, or alien invasions, the reality remains that we are already nearing the end of the line, at least, geologically. The planet would be a 66-year-old guy at this time if it had an 80-year life expectancy. The Earth was born 4.6 billion years ago. When it reaches 5.6 billion, however, it will be a dead planet. Life around here has only 1 billion more years to go, and that's in the most stupidly optimistic of hypotheses. It's just that the sun will be stronger and brighter up ahead and make all the Earth's oceans evaporate. This, in turn, will cause an even more devastating greenhouse effect, turning the entire planet into a scorching inferno. The world has already ended for 99% of all species that have emerged since the first of all life forms appeared 3.5 billion years ago. The creatures that inhabit the Earth today are just a tiny fraction of all that ever existed. But even if the world doesn't die of old age, what else could cause its end, the apocalypse? That's what I'm going to show you in this video. Like and subscribe to the channel to receive new content every day. 1. A beautiful asteroid. There are more than 1,000 of them close to Earth, waiting for their time to fall. Yes, astronomers estimate that there are more or less 1,100,000 of these 1-kilometer diameter bolides routinely passing through the Earth's surroundings, all with the potential to cause a planetary catastrophe. Astronomers have been working hard to discover these objects. Around 800 have already been found. Brazil is also engaged in this search, with a telescope installed in Pernambuco, whose objective is precisely to monitor these boulders. And tracking them is accurate, though not many astronomers make the effort after the initial discovery. Of all the asteroids discovered, 80% are lost right away, says Daniela Lazzaro, a researcher at the National Observatory specializing in asteroids and leader of Projeto Impacto, which is dedicated to discovering them in the sky. They are monitored for a short time, a preliminary orbit is calculated, it is seen that they will not collide with the Earth, and then they are abandoned. Of all asteroids discovered, 80% are lost shortly thereafter. The problem is that the world goes round. Or rather, the worlds go round. As they revolve around the Sun, as they are relatively small, asteroids can change orbits and then come on a collision course with us. Daniela works on the search and characterization of these bolides, to make sure they don't really collide with Earth. In any case, there is always the risk of an object being discovered at the last minute on a collision course, and there is no time to take some action, such as dropping an atomic bomb that diverts the object's path. Being hit by an asteroid, after all, is a tried and true method for mass extermination, so to speak. The dinosaurs, who went extinct in a hit with a 10 kilometers wide boulder 65 million years ago. If a similar episode happened today, it would be the end for us too. The problem is not so much the impact itself, which is localized, but its consequences. Trillions of tons of dust rise into the atmosphere and sunlight is blocked for months. Plants die. Without pasture, what will the ox eat? And, without the cattle, what will become of the rodeo steakhouses? You get the idea. Scientists' estimates of the frequency of truly catastrophic impacts vary widely. The ranges can be wide, every 1 billion years, or not so wide, every 100 million years. But what sends the message even more clearly comes from above, up and down. Astronomers find an asteroid that has passed or will pass by grazing Earth. And it's like in football. The guy kicks a ball on the post, 2, 3. 1 hour the goal is scored. 2. Generalized nuclear breaker. Ah, but this is so 1950s. No, the nuclear threat is still alive, and it will remain so forever, since it is not possible to uninvent atomic weapons. There are 22,000 nuclear warheads in the world. The owners of the largest arsenals are still the United States and Russia. But as the Cold War froze long ago, the risk of an atomic catastrophe is over, right? Wrong. The problem is that at the moment several not exactly friendly countries are developing their own nuclear weapons, like Iran. If the country announces that it has the bomb, it will start a nuclear race across the Middle East, which is already a powder keg today. If a Cold War breaks out there, the chance that it will heat up is real. And there is still the possibility that some terrorist group will arrange its own warheads. From there to a suicidal global war, it can be a leap. 3. Supervolcanoes. When a volcano in Chile or Iceland starts spewing ash into the air, it's already a nuisance. But all this is a chip compared to what supervolcanoes can do. A supervolcano is so big you can't even see it. His mouth is on the ground and covered in dirt. And what a mouth! An entire city could fit inside it. One of the first pieces of evidence of supervolcanoes was the discovery of huge circular valleys, some 30 to 60 kilometers wide, that resembled the calderas located on top of many of the most well-known volcanoes on the planet, only family-sized, he says. Russian geologist Ilya Bindeman, an expert on the subject. It is thought that the famous American park Yellowstone is all the mouth of a supervolcano, even if covered with land, and that there are others in Indonesia and New Zealand. If one of them were to erupt, it would cover its region of the globe with ash in a matter of hours, says Bindeman, indicating that, in the United States, this has happened at least 4 times in the last 2 million years. The last one 640,000 years ago, and nothing prevents the next one from happening soon. The biggest problem is that eruptions dramatically affect the climate and change the composition of the atmosphere. Even in the eruptions of conventional volcanoes, you can already see a drop in the average temperature of the planet. The ash they release blocks sunlight. In the case of the giants in action, our world could become a refrigerator. Not to mention that the gases ejected by volcanoes can open holes in the ozone layer, which protects the surface from the sun's harmful radiation. A supervolcano eruption has the force of a small asteroid collision, but it occurs 10 times as often, says Bindeman. 4. Mortal Sun. This one has no errors. It is the certain end of Earth. The Sun, very gradually, becomes hotter over time. In the past it was colder. In the future, it will be more active. In about 1 billion years, the thing will boil over. Literally. When the Sun reaches the end of its life, 7 billion years from now, it will grow to occupy 3/4 of the sky. It will be so hot that the mountains will melt. The increase in solar radiation will cause all the Earth's water to evaporate. The buildup of steam will further increase the temperature and we will end up not unlike Venus, with temperatures of 400 degrees Celsius. Then it will get worse. When the Sun reaches the end of its life, 7 billion years from now, it will grow to occupy 3/4 of the sky. It will be so hot that the mountains will melt. And then the Sun rises a little more, swallowing the Earth. The only way out would be to push the planet further and further from the Sun, at the same rate as it warmed up. Well, this video is quite long, so I split it into 2 parts. Stay tuned to the channel to receive the notification. Like and subscribe to the channel and check out the suggested video. I'm pretty sure you'll find something interesting and valuable.